Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Empire of the Full Moon. I am Mike Cadaver, and if you saw the first episode where I explained what's going to be going on here, you know that for every episode I'm either going to be talking about a specific subject having to do with Empire or Full Moon or Charles Band or anything having to do with any of that stuff, or I'm going to be talking about a movie, and this time I'm going to go ahead and talk about a movie. Charles Band has been in the business for over 50 years, and he's made, at this point, it's September 11th, 2024. At this point, he has made and released 400 movies. And so there's so many to choose from. But it's funny, I went and actually decided to start the show off with his very latest 2024. It's only a few weeks old, and I just saw it for the first time a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be talking about Quadrant. Quadrant is the first movie for Charles Band and Full Moon that is going to be released under the sub-label Pulp Noir. Now, basically what that is Charles Band has actually said that it's going to be kind of darker and edgier than some of the stuff that he's been putting out lately. I mean, if you think about it, we got Barbie and Kendra, we got bad CGI Gator, Vampire, wow, that would be wild. And we've got, things like even Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man, stuff like that. But these are going to have much darker subjects, and I'm here for it. So why don't we get into it by talking a little bit about some of the background. Many of the new films that Charles Band has been putting out have been filmed at a property that he has recently bought I think 2021 in Cleveland. So he bought this huge house, 7,420 square feet or something like that. And he's kind of changed little parts of it to become makeup rooms and sets and all sorts of things, just basically using it the same way that he used his castle back when he had the castle in Italy, where he filmed such great movies as Castle Freak and The Pit and the Pendulum, among others, in the same way that he used the studios that he had in Romania to just kind of move most of the production for all of his films there. One interesting thing about this, and it's very controversial according to what I see online, articles and people who are commenting on pictures, things like that, on supposed art, is that Charles Band is using AI to create some of the other worlds and some of the creatures that are in this movie. And Charles, I think it was on, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was when he was talking to Joe Bob on a they did a screening for a couple of people who won a contest through the last drive-in, and they decided to do a Q&A after for the two people that were there, Charlie's wife and Darcy. But it's funny. Anyway, so I think he said that he considers it just like another tool in his tool belt to create these wonderful movies. And it's like that, and I totally get it. Listen, I actually write software for a living, and I use AI on a daily basis, and it's a great tool. It speeds up my development. It makes me not have to trudge through some of the drudgery of starting off kind of the boilerplate type of stuff. The thing is even though I enjoy it and I love it, art and programming are about as far away on the vocation scale or spectrum as you can get. So I actually understand some of the artists. I guess they're concerned. Now, I won't get into this because I don't really have a super strong opinion, because I'll tell you right now, for some of the art that, some of the characters and some of the backgrounds that I have for other shows, I've used talent off Fiverr, and which knowingly they use AI. And for me, it worked fine. And it was very inexpensive. And I don't know if that's why artists don't like it, because they're getting undercut, or if they feel like it has no heart and soul, which I also get that. However, I am not an artist. I like exploitation movies and horror movies and sci-fi and all that stuff. So it's all good to me. And to be honest with you, I think some of it looked really good in this movie. Now, I'm not going to make a huge stink about it, and I'm not going to come down on either side of the fence. It's actually interesting that this is the first movie where the producers have come out and said, we used AI, and once you see it, it's fairly obviously AI, because it looks like the stuff that you'll see online. And maybe that'll be kind of like a bookmark in time. Maybe, 10, 15 years down the road, we won't remember how it was and what it looked like. And so like, oh shoot, I remember 2024. It was real fun. It was back when life was easy. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that. Like I said, I don't like have a ton of, I don't have like a super strong opinion on that. But here we go. I did forget to talk about one thing. With this, home that he's purchased in Cleveland, kind of moved all of his productions. I don't know if all, I don't know everything, about exactly what's going on. But the thing is lately, for instance, we've seen movies called Bring Her to Me. We've seen Amy, The Visitor. We've seen, movies like that. And now this one and some of the pulp noir ones. And the one that's coming up next is also filmed at the same place. Now, it's wonderful and it's awesome. It just doesn't have the scope of some of the old, like for instance, when he used to film in Romania, or when he filmed in, other places like that. And I'm not saying those are the only places he's ever filmed, like that and the castle and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, these seem kind of on a smaller scope, and they seem kind of more green screeny, which is fine. It's a great tool, and it's been used the whole time, I'm sure. I just, I was a little bit worried about, where that's going to go. And I think, like I said in the first episode, this is another phase or era of full moon features. And I think that might just be how it is for a while. But we'll see if he decides to go out and make a grander scale film. Maybe in this day and age where the way you make your money is through streaming and not like how it used to be. This is just kind of what's going to be. And these movies are great. I'm not talking about that. There is one movie recently that he did make that kind of made me think that, it's still potentially feasible in our mind. And that is, see that? Blood Rise. Subspecies 5, Blood Rise, which is a great movie. I loved it. And Ted Nicolau went and did that one again. Anyways, I just wanted to illustrate that even though the ones recently are at this Cleveland house, there's still potential for other things. All right, so why don't we get right into the movie and play a quick trailer. We'll play the trailer for it, and I'll be right back to talk about it.
You said you've been haunted by that image ever since you saw it in a book as a little girl.
You both said Quadrant would help me gain some insights.
Quadrant makes your fears seem like a physical reality.
I came to Quadrant because I live in a nightmare world.
You're supposed to be curing me, Robert! You're overstepping.
This is a medical device built for subjects to go through mental catharsis, not to use it like a ride at Disneyland. If you have any brains left, you'll stay away from her.
You want to be free of fear? So why won't you trust me?
Because I can't.
I know these trips aren't your fears, they're your personal fantasies.
You can't be threatening me, can you? Because that would be beyond fucking stupid. Do you want to help me?
Of course.
Bring her back, now! And we'll never betray each other.
All right, you just saw the trailer for Quadrant. Came out in 2024, less than a month ago, actually. IMDb gives this a 5.7 currently. It was directed by Charles Band, and it was written by C. Courtney Joyner. Now, he is a Empire and Full Moon stalwart. He did Prison from 1987, Puppet Master 3, Dr. Mordred, Lurking Fear, and on and on and on. In fact, I did have an idea to do a director, writer, producer spotlight, as some episodes for this show. And I think C. Courtney Joyner deserves that kind of treatment. So, let's eventually that will come, and we'll make sure to talk about him. Starring Shannon Barnes as Aaron, Christian Kerrigan as Robert, Emma Reinagel as Meg, Ricard Clayson as Harry, I think he's Norwegian or something like that, Kayleen Snarsky as Guitar Girl, and Lexi Lore as Blonde Girl. I am going to start with two things. I'm going to start with the plot, and I'm going to ask some questions, and then we're going to talk about those questions. So let's get on with the plot. Meg and Harry are scientists who have recently created a brand new technology that is intended to help people overcome their fears. This piece of technology is known as the Quadrant helmet. When placed on the subject's head, this person is thrust into a digital world where the person's fears are being manifest to them, supposedly in a manner which will give the subject the ability to overcome said fear. Enter Aaron, potential subject that responded to Meg and Harry and has volunteered to be a guinea pig for the testing of this brand new form of therapy. Erin is a young woman who has a passion, or an obsession, with Jack the Ripper. She surrounds herself with literature, all having to do with that subject. And when she gets on into the Quadrant trip, she's taken back to 1880s London, where she seems to just be enjoying it and not really scared of it, but just kind of absorbing it and going along for the ride. We also have a character named Robert who has many fears. He's actually trying to use Quadrant as intended to overcome these fears. And then he gets entangled with Erin and all of her obsessions, and things may or may not go good from there. Long story short, it seems that Erin isn't exactly what she seems when she shows murderous intent inside and outside of the Quadrant trips. Is Quadrant feeding the flame of Erin's murderous obsession? Can Meg and Harry control the unexpected side effects of Quadrant, even when it seemingly leaks into the subject's daily life? Does Full Moon Features call up Lexi Lore every time they need a full frontal nudity chick? Find out by watching Quadrant from 2024. We'll start with that last question real quick. The answer is maybe, but definitely recently. Lexi Lore is a porn star who is, let's just say she's not shy and she's not ugly. And I mean, I joke around, but it's like she was butt naked in this, and she had a similar role, even naughtier, in Amy, the Visitor, when there was a fantasy and an AI thing, and let's just say, cool, more power to you. Just so you know, I talked about eras in the episode 1, where I just kind of explained what's going on, and this is kind of a new era for Full Moon Features, for obvious reasons. It's the era of the Cleveland House. It's a lot of smaller budgets with green screen and other types of things like that. And I mean, is it as good as every single other era? That's hard to say, but it's got some great movies in this. I mean, recently you've had Amy the Visitor, Necropolis, and Bad CGI Gator, and they all kind of have that same look, very clean. And maybe in 30 more years, I'll look back at this and have the same good feelings that I do now when I pop on some of the Puppet Master sequels. And I don't know, but we'll see. I mean, there's green screen in other films, and like Bring Her to Me, where it looks pretty. I mean, you have a girl in a bed flying over the city, stuff like that. But the green screen in this and in Amy, I know I keep bringing up Amy the Visitor, and I'll talk about that one potentially later. But they do a great job in both of these films when using the green screen. They use it, and it looks unnatural, but it's meant to, because it's used mainly for the Quadrant trips. That's when the AI comes into use as well. And so, it fits. It looks good. We're not, it's not like we're watching it going, oh, that does not look good, because it's, it's meant to look like that. And same with Amy. It was all in the AI scenes, stuff like that. Anyway, the AI that they do use in this, it's kind of, I mean, we all know how the AI is. We've all been online. We see like, oh, there's an extra finger here and there. And it's kind of the same way with some of these movies, some of these parts in this movie. The opening scenes, if you look really hard, you'll see a guy in a top hat with 3 legs, and a few things you have to be looking really hard, stuff like that. But also the monsters and some of the creepy scenes in that kind of, I mean, they do look exactly how they just have a very distinct look. They look how they look like they do online, and just kind of some of the same movements and stuff like that. And I mean, we'll see how, if that stands the test of time, just like some of his other ones. Some of his other older movies, they've all stood the test of times, in my opinion. But this is a whole new thing. And I mean, maybe that's the feeling that he had 30 years ago, making some of that stuff, wondering if it would stand the test of times. And maybe he feels that way now, and we'll see in another 30 years. The one thing that strikes me about a lot of his recent films that he's been producing and distributing is he seems to kind of be, I mean, he's always kind of worked for himself, but he seems to have ultimate freedom in this. This movie's only 73 minutes long, which is weird for, a feature-length movie. But I mean, maybe with the way he's distributing it, having his own streaming channel, having his channel on Amazon, Tubi, and all this other stuff, I think there's a lot less restrictions than there have been in the past. But I also think, just like the music industry, there's a lot less money to be made, or it's more difficult to make the money. And so obviously that's why, he's doing it this way. But all in all, I think it's great that he can do that. And I think it's, going to be something that he's doing for this era, like I said. Before I kind of talk about my feelings about the movie, I want to say I'm doing this show because I have been a huge fan of Charles Band's work for, since like late 80s, early 90s, stuff like that, when I was in high school, stuff like that. I'm an old man. But there's in no way am I trying to shill. No way. I'm not getting like any kind of monetary value or anything like that. I'm just doing it because I love the movies, and they've actually been a huge part of my life over the years. And I just know when I see that full moon feature pop up and the bats are flying away from the moon, stuff like that, I'm in for a good time. So that being said, I also understand that not every movie that he's put out over the span of all of his career has been good. There's a lot of stinkers out there. A lot of stinkers that, I mean, typically I think that I personally, and I think a lot of people do, kind of give them a pass a little bit because of the camp, or, just kind of the idea and some of the, and obviously knowing that they're low budget films, stuff like that. Anyway, having said that, I watched this on Full Moon streaming, or Full Moon Features. If you go on there, there is the whole movie. You get some behind the scenes. Where Charles Band is walking around with just his iPhone, and he's taking, just kind of catching people as they're getting their makeup on, and we get another perspective as they're filming, and we get a lot of extra perspective on the Lexi Lohr part, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it's fun, and it seemed like a fun set to be on, stuff like that. It's also presented as a video zone, which is cool. A new intro, but the same music and stuff like that. So that was a nice blast from the past. And also on that line, there's that, like I mentioned, the little featurette about the Q&A that Joe Bob, or the winners of the Joe Bob contest were there. And anyway, fun times. But even though I did watch it there, I actually liked it enough that I bought the Blu-ray. So there you have it. The cast is great. It's fun. Obviously these are people that we've never heard of, but they do a good job, especially the lead. She actually, she's kind of crazy a little bit, which I think it takes for this film. And in my opinion, there's some kind of cheesy parts towards the end where I'm like, okay, that's wild. But, no, but she did a great job throughout. There's one problem I did have with this movie. I don't think the guitar girl in this could actually play the guitar. So sorry, but I don't really have any huge criticisms, understanding that it's a low budget, the way they filmed it, the cast that they had. To be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I would recommend this to my friends. I would say, but my only reason I wouldn't recommend it to someone is if they're an artist and they hate the AI. That's like, to me, it's nothing, but I know that's a thing for a lot of people. Anyway, so so check that one out. I really enjoyed it, and it's good to see that even after 400, he's putting out some, like, Full Moon Features is still putting out some great stuff with, a pretty decent idea. And I like the whole Jack the Ripper thing to it. I like that, the story is great. I think that it was deeper than it could have been, which is perfect. It was, so anyways, I liked it. That's I guess all I'll say. Before I let you go, I do want to say, visit empireofthefullmoon.com, and you'll go to my site on the page that has all that stuff for this show. If you go to corpsecollective.com, you can check out some other projects that I've got going on, like a podcast that I've been doing for, 12 years called The Corpse Cast. Me and my wife do a show about horror pub trivia. It's really fun. You can go to horrorpubtrivia.com, but in Empire of the Full Moon, they all kind of forward to different pages on corpsecollective.com. So if you go there, you can check out everything. Make sure that if you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, that you subscribe, because hopefully I've got a lot of these coming. And I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope to make other stuff that you will enjoy. So I guess that's it. So for today, and till next time, we will catch you guys later.